Okay, for some really cool Latin, we have Frontinus. Concerning covering up your plans, Marcus Porcius Cato was thinking, with the Spanish cities being beaten by him, that in time they would rebel, relying on the fiducia with their trustiness that they could depend on of their walls, the walls of the city. And so he wrote to each single city that they tear down their fortifications, their walls, any minatus, he threatened war, unless immediately they obeyed. Letters universally to these cities in the same day he ordered to be red-eyed, to be sent. Unaqueque, and each of these cities was believing itself was the sole one had been ordered. They would have been able to make a conspiracy insulting them if to each of them they had all known this idem notum. If all this had been known to all of them at the same time instead of individually, they would have been able to denounce this and make their conspiracy. Hamilcar, general of the Carthaginians, so that into Sicily, unexpected, he could land his fleet. He didn't pronounce to where they were setting off for, but letters in which were written to which party he wanted to seek, he gave to the universal gubernators, the people who steer the ships. They were sealed and had instructions that no one should read unless by the force of a storm they'd been abducted away from their course of the lead ship, of the flagship. You can change abductus if you want. Abductus literally means led away, led away by the storm. Anyway, Laelius to Syphax, with an X in the nominative, Praefectus, he set out as a legate, certain from the tribunes and centurions, under the appearance of slaves and ministers and helpers. He led with him spies, so spies as slaves, from which was Illustratorius, whom, because rather often he had been in the same camp, certain of the enemies it seemed would recognise him. For the sake of covering up the condition of him, with a stick as a slave he castigated him. So that's a causa post positive to genitives. Okay, so the condition was that he was obviously not a slave and he'd been seen by the enemy. Tarquinius Superbus, the older, the father, leading citizens of the Carbi, he was thinking they should be killed. Because he wanted this to no one, to be committed to no one, so he didn't want the information to be leaked to anyone, he replied nihil to the messenger who had been sent to him from his son. So he said nothing. Merely with a virga, a tall stick, a bit like a bacula, the heads of poppies. When by chance he was walking in the garden, he decussed, so he knocked off the heads of the tall poppies. The messenger, without a response, reversed and responded or announced to the adolescent Tarquinius, the filio, what he had seen the guy's father doing. He understood that he should faciendum, he should do this to the leading citizens, basically. Gaius Caesar, he had some suspecting the faith of the Egyptians, through the appearance of an inspection of the security of the city and the works. Similar. As soon as he was given over to the more freely licentiousness of feasting, he wanted to be seen captivated by the influence, grace of the place, and to be defecting over to the mores and life of the Alexandrians. And amongst this pretense and dissimulation with his prepared subsidiaries and auxiliaries, he occupied Egyptus. Ventidius, in the Parthian War against the king of the Parcaorum, he was not ignorant that a certain Farnanium, whoever the hell he is, from the nation of Crestica, from which they seem to be allies, everything which was going on amongst his own people in camp, he decided to announce this to the Parthians. He was converting the perfidy of the barbarians to his own utility and usefulness. For the things which he desired to happen greatly, what do we do here? He seemed to fear for himself that this should happen, the things which he feared, and so he's making a pretense here, and he was hoping to choose the things that would happen that he feared. So the things he wanted to happen, he pretended he feared them. The things which he was fearing, he pretended he hoped it would happen. And so solicitous, anxious, lest the Parthians should cross the Euphrates, antiquam, before his legions turned up unexpectedly to help him. I guess he didn't know exactly when they'd turn up, which were in Cappadocia, where he had them across the Taurus. Studiously, he conducted himself with this betrayer, suspected betrayer, so that he could persuade the Parthians, by this guy's usual perfidy, to lead their army across the Zeugma, I guess it's a river, which is the most brevissimus, neuter, the most shortest journey, and with a very low channel bed, the Euphrates runs there. For if they were to come, he assevered, he could use the opportunity of the hills. He could use this means of the hills there to elude the archers. However, he would fear everything if themselves, through the lower open plains, pro usually means going forwards, so if they've gone forwards, he pretended he would fear, proicusant. In Daily Dictionary, proicio usually means to throw with say there. Used with say means to rush into something or degrade oneself. Okie doke, that's it.